here today. Today we all are gathered here for a hands-on workshop on gender audit, which will be delivered by Professor Namita Rajput ma'am. So before going in details of the workshop, let me first request our principal ma'am, Professor Nana Sija ma'am, to present a token of gratitude to Professor Namita Rajput ma'am. Fine. Now I request Professor Ruchi Tyagi ma'am, Senior Advisor to IQAC, to present a token of respect to our principal ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite our respected principal madam to say a few words about this workshop and shower her blessing to us. Please, ma'am.
नमस्कार सबको। आज IQAC ने ये वेबिनार सेमिनार कंडक्ट किया है and the chief speaker is Professor Namita Rajput. We have been associated for a very long time. She is my friend, my guide, motivator. She has played many roles in my life, and the most important is that she's my younger sister. She's very affectionate, and at the same time, she's very energetic. Though she belongs to commerce, but the amount of research work that she has done is commendable. If you look at her CV, she has more than 300 research papers, so many projects, so many books. And another thing, very important, that when we do research, we tend to remain in our own field. I mean, extend करते हैं, but अपने ही field में. But she has done so many things even in IQAC. Like today, she is going to speak on gender audit. We had never even heard about it, and we never knew that it is mandatory for us to do it. And from time to time, she keeps guiding our IQAC committee. Me also, she keeps guiding that what all we have to do, how we can improve our performance for NAC and all that. So I'm so pleased to have you today with us. Heartiest welcome and all my love for you, Namita. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So today workshop is on gender audit. So what do we mean by gender audit? Gender audit is a process to assess and check the gender equality into organization, including in their policies, programs, projects, provision of services, structure, proceedings, and budget. A gender audit enhances the collective capacity of the organization to examine activities from a gender perspective and identify strength and weakness in promoting gender equality issues. So going ahead with the same thing, Kalindi College, University of Delhi, strictly adheres to the Vishakha guidelines and Saksham guidelines. Professor Namita Rajput, our honorable guest, will throw some more light on the same. So before inviting ma'am, let me introduce her to all our audience. At present, Professor Rajput is a member of Export Committee at UGC, the Saksham portal, Associate Member of IQAC Cluster, Expert Member of Quality Council of India, and was a former Principal of Sri Aurobindo College, India. Professor Rajput has has more than 25 years of rich expertise in teaching and research and development with specialization in finance, international business, marketing, and other subjects in commerce. She has an expertise graduate, postgraduate students, and research scholars are having an interactive discussion and hands-on approaches to help them to learn and apply the concepts in their respective subjects. She has authored several books and papers in national and international journals, and she has secured a vast success in continuously acquiring new knowledge and applying innovative educations, and always have aimed to be an effective educator and have a global outlook, which is a need for today. So now, not wasting much more of time of yours, I invite Professor Namita Rajput to deliver her lecture on the gender audit. Please, ma'am.
Greetings and salutations to all. It's my privilege to be here with my friend Naina ji. And thank you so much, organizers, for calling me to share my views on the gender audit. Since it's a new perspective, so just like to add that under the revised accreditation framework, that is we call it as RAF, gender audit has been now a mandatory compliance. And there was a question coming from all sides. It's a women college, so why there is a need for gender perspective or gender audit? So the enablers, the factors, the overall perspective as far as the gender audit is concerned is little different in the women college compared to the co-ed college. So in today's hands-on workshop, I will be giving you some perspective from the women college point of view. Number one, I will be giving some recommendations owing to which you can enhance the gender perspective in all the capacities, in all the spheres as far as the college functioning is concerned, in administrative work, in teaching learning process, in research process, and overall making the education of the girls a very rich experience so that we are ready for the 21st century challenges and also know about the global perspectives, the Indian perspectives, and what particular factors are very, very pertinent in this regard. So, first of all, let me tell you that NAC has believed in a continuous process. And there have been various initiatives which the NAC has taken, and there are about 7 parameters. You must have the committees for all the parameters. But at the end of the day, you must be knowing this, that when you do or go into a accreditation and assessment process, there is an absence of reflection of gender perspective. From all the parameters, be it infrastructure, be it research and innovation, be it best practices, be it curriculum, it is nowhere reflected as far as the gender perspective is concerned. So there was a interim, updation from the NAC that from now onwards, there's a draft given by a few professors. So it is better that we implement it right now. And since we have a cycle of NAC for 5 years, to do the gender audit, it is like twice. Like you have to do the environment audit, it's also a mandatory compliance. Similarly, for the gender audit also. Now it is a mandatory compliance. You can see on the NAC websites, there's an updation for the gender audit. And it is now like very likely that all the organizations will have to do it. So we will be touching all the nuances, all the parameters relating to the gender audit. And I will be highlighting few recommendations because I have seen the SSR of the college. Nanaji has joined just a few months back. So for this part of the peer team visit and all that, so you have to actually reflect what specific things you are doing as far as the gender audit is concerned, as far as the gender policy is concerned. And let me tell you one thing, that whatever gender policy you will make, it is on the basis of the audit. You cannot just cook like that because now NAC is very, very vigilant as far as the collection of the evidences is concerned. So like now we are starting with this workshop on the gender audit. There was a request given by me to the principal that please make the event live. Why? Because when you have to gather all the evidences, so having a live program on the Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, it is really going to be very, very beneficial for all the higher education institutes because when it is live, it is recorded live, there's no other evidence which you need. You just have to put a URL, that is the Uniform Resource Locator link on the particular list which you will make in terms of what programs you have done for the gender sensitization, for the gender perspective, etc. So first of all, let me just tell you those specific interim update which has been come out by the NAC people. So as a part of the post accreditation, now what is that? Once you have the grade, once you have your college has A grade and the CGPA is 3.02 as was addressed by Rakhi. So now is the time to upgrade the college in terms of the grades. Why? Because we are living in a competitive world. We are living in a world of where people don't buy products, people buy images. So if you have to make the image of your college very good, like we have of SRCC, we have of LSR, we have of JMC. Similarly, there should be one day when people will be striving to go in for the admission, specifically for the girl students in Kalindi College. And to move on to that particular position, you all have to be the drivers. You all have to be the steers. It is not the work of the principal. It is not the work of the IQAC team. It is a joint endeavor. And you should take it to the heart that we have to put in our heart and soul to upgrade the grades of the colleges, right? So after the post accreditation, there is a beautiful endeavor done by the NAC that they have come out with a particular accreditation, which is specific to the gender audit. So NAC has been promoting the quality framework in a very holistic manner. Why holistic manner? Because we take a 360-degree development of all the students. So basically, the NAC has been promoting the quality. So in that endeavor and to pass on to that particular role, we have to do different things. And now the gender audit, the gender policy is now a prevalent policy after the UNESCO has adopted. And by 2030, the gender mainstreaming and gender perspective have been given very important. So we are following the UNESCO way. We are following the International Labour Organization participatory gender audit perspective. I again repeat, basically when you talk about, because there is a difference between what you say and actual position is. So that is why the audits are done. Audit is basically a check of what you are saying. You have to substantiate your statements with the relevant facts, with the relevant evidences. So audits are basically done, like we do the environment audit, that how you are able to conserve the energy part, or whether all the environmental endeavors have been followed in your college, whether the plantation drives are there, you're not using anything which is decarbonizing the economy, and so we have n number of parameters as far as the environment audit is concerned. But when you talk about the gender audit, it is completely a new concept which has been announced by NAC, which is now a mandatory compliance. Now see, gender, when you say gender, we mean not only the women, because this is a myth. When you talk about gender, people will talk about women. No. Gender perspective means what? Whosoever is a part of your institution, whosoever is a part of your organization, all the stakeholders, their perspective, their interest have to be embedded in the functioning of the college. I repeat, when you talk about the gender perspective does not mean only the women. It includes all the, the sex-generated data. You have to collect all the sex-generated data, whether it is a male or female or a third gender. I will highlight here the third gender because nowadays even the government of India has come out with a particular transgender act. So we have to actually respect the third gender, which is not the scenario in the Indian perspective. I just share my example and just give you my hands-on experience and recommendations, which is going to make you aware of the factors which are very pertinent from the gender perspective point of view, right? So just one thing more, whatever event you do, try and make yourself live on the social media, number one. Number two, try and circulate, because we are now in a blended mode. Like we are today having this workshop also on a blended mode. There are few teachers who have joined online and there are few teachers who are sitting next to me. So when this blended program is there, so there is a standard operating procedure which has been initiated by NAC, that whatever workshop you do, which is have a gender orientation, you must have the data of how many beneficiaries are there. Like now I can see about more than 50 people sitting in front of me, and there are about, I think probably more than 100 people who have joined online, or probably they are on the Facebook. So try and accumulate the data as and when you finish a particular event. Because the event is already live on the Facebook, you should start working on the gender perspective programs right from the beginning. You have to start working on the Google Drives. The Google Drives document must be shared with all the committee members, so that as and when there is an updation of any of the event, it is updated on the Google Drives. It is not that you have to keep it pending, that when the principal will ask for a report, or when the IQAC convener will ask for the report, then we will update. No, it's a very, very bad practice. As and when you complete a particular project, try and put it on the Google Drives, followed by the geo-tagged pictures. I tell you what is a geo-tagged pictures. I think most of you know. The geotag picture is that you have to download from the Play Store any of the Google tagged or the geotag camera. So when you download the camera, please take the pictures from that camera, which is a geotag. So from the geotagged camera, now it is a mandatory compliance to produce the evidences as per the geotag. The geotag pictures have been now they are mandatory compliance of the NAC, because the geotag camera will give you the longitude, the latitude, the location, the time, the place. So it is a complete evidence in itself that this particular event happened, right? So right now also, few of you can take the geotag pictures of the workshop which is going on the gender sensitivity and the gender audit and the gender perspective. Whatever name you want to give, you can do that. So since it's a women college, so our focus will be on doing of particular workshops which are very, very vital and pertinent to upgrade, to upskill the lives of the women, the lives of all the gender who are a part of this particular program. So NAC has, just a very new update from the NAC, that NAC has developed the gender sensitive quality indicators. I repeat, NAC under the new update has come out with the gender sensitive quality indicators. So we call it as GSQI. This GSQI is a gender sensitive quality indicators, that is the institution will be judged as per the gender perspective programs which the college has organized specifically to sensitize the gender, right? As I was telling you, one of the experiences of the transgender, when I was heading that institution of Aurobindo Evening College, so since I know all the parameters and I'm very sensitive about the accreditation and the assessment criteria, so in that particular endeavor, I started with a transgender series. So under that, I called with the Women Development Cell. We organized a program. This is your recommendation. What I'm telling you, whatever experience I will share will be your recommendation. So you can also do the similar kind of programs in your own college. So the first is the program which I started under the Women Development Cell was Samata program, SAMATA. Samata means equality. So what the NAC people are asking you to celebrate the equality of all the relevant genders who are a part of your institution. So under that particular endeavor, I called Rudrani Chetni Chauhan. She is a UN activist. She's running a modeling agency. She's a transgender. She's a trans woman. Because under the third gender also, we have LGBTQ, we have n number of that kind of an explanation. I'm not going deep into it, but yes, the most famous are the lesbians, the gay, or say the trans woman, the trans, and by choice, some people they are converted into a particular gender. So all the other aspects, if you happen to come to know that in your own college you have a person who is different from the male and the female, please respect that perspective also, because it is not a disease. It is just it is not a disease. It is just by the virtue of your birth that you develop. So Rudrani Chetni Chauhan, whom I called for a workshop with a live interaction with our students, was a very opening up of the type of an event, a very out of box an event. She started sharing her experiences. There were few students who started making fun of her. But before her talk, when she was invited on the dais, I sensitized all my students that there should not be any kind of untoward incidents, any kind of abuses, any kind of wrong language, because we have a general tendency of discarding or disassociating with such kind of people, and we see them in a very different eye. So that perspective has to be stopped, because they are also humans. They also have red blood. So if they are different in their, the overall formation of their body structure, what can we do? So we have to celebrate diversity, respect the transgender. I was filling the form of my younger child when he was in class 10. So there was a column of male, there was a column of female, and there was a column of other genders, others. So other gender is all about, the other gender is all about the transgenders. So we have to talk about it very openly to the students, talk about their life. So she started sharing on the stage that when I was like 5 years old, she was born like a male child. So when she was 5 years of age, and when she started feeling the things around her, so all the mannerism, the talks, everything was about like a woman. So slowly and steadily, she became a trans woman. And she started sharing her journey of life, that how she was discarded and disowned by the family, what particular experiences she had, very bad experience. I think 70% of the audience who were sitting in the seminar room, they started crying. It was so heart-touching. So these kind of real-time stories, which are specific to the gender sensitization, have to be done mandatorily. I repeat, all these kind of workshops which involve the transgender, anything which is not normal from our point of view, because we take it as little different from normal. I would not say normal, but something which is different from normal. So we should try and have good interactive sessions with the students, so that they know that this is the reality and this is how we have to respect. And after that, we had a series of programs. I also called one girl who transformed herself from a male to a female. That was a trans male. So she was the child of, I would not say male or female because she was a trans male. So she later converted into a trans girl. So she was a child of a colonel. So how he spent a lot. She went to Harvard. How she gathered her degrees and all that was amazing experience for our students. So these kind of transgender sensitization programs, should be done in the college. So those 7 quality indicators, I would be side by side giving you the recommendations. So since it is recorded live, so you can listen to them again also. But these perspectives are completely absent, as far as the many colleges are concerned. So it is just about the awareness. So after I leave your college, after this awareness audit, gender audit workshops, whatever you will think, I'm sure, will be from the gender perspective. That what specific are the outcomes of the particular workshops which you're doing, and they should have substantial good mileage benefits to your college. So this was the highest important recommendation which I could always extend from my side, that you should move in for a transgender cell in your college. So this transgender cell is nowhere there. Let me tell you, I have read N number of audit reports of many corporates and the company. This particular transgender cell, you can also come out with a magazine. There must be a group of transgenders. So whenever the child is born or the marriage takes place, they come to have the money. So try and call them, interactive session with them, record what they are doing, respect them, not with a different type, but considering that they are the same. So if you open a transgender cell, and even in Orbital evening, what the last event which I did, I remember, we gave a recommendation letter to the government of India, to our Vice Chancellor of Delhi University, and many more competent authorities, that you should do something about their education. Because I think and I strongly feel that if you educate them, education is a kind of a tool for assimilating the distortions which they had in the past. Because education is a tool in which you will economically empower anybody for that matter, be it male, be it female, be it a transgender. So if you educate them, it is going to be a completely different scenario. So for all the assimilated distortions which they had as a underprivileged section of the society, the marginalized section of the society, the discarded section of the society, the hated section of society, it will be blunt. It will be over, because they now are educated. They have the degrees. They are competent. So what I feel is that if you happen to have any transgender in your college, please make him or her a part of your cell. If not, then you should have the organizations nearby. Try and find out something new. Try to be innovative in your pedagogies as far as serving to the society is concerned. Because eventually, all your female students, they have to join the working or the placement. So the next recommendation which I would, besides transgender, I want to give you is have a movie session. I will give you some of the movies names, and rest you can, the Google Power is there for everyone. So you can Google the name of the particular movies which are very pertinent for every student to show. Again, on say Friday or on any of a weekend, if weekend is little more for you, so you can always organize after 15 days or after 2 weeks, this kind of a movie streaming session. So that you can have online from the college for the entire college, be it faculty members, be it non-teaching, be it teaching. That will be counted as gender sensitization activity. So I'll just name, I have noted down somewhere, because they're all the concepts which I'm having is only for you people. So just give me 1 minute. I'll just let you know the name of the movies which are very important to be shown to the students. So you can show them Mary Com. I remember that because you have to tell them anything which is which is like out of box, motivational. Number one, give something about the social status of the women, like Mirch Masala, Smita Patil's movie. There was another movie by Smita Patil in which she started a cooperative. I'm forgetting the name of that movie. The milk cooperative she started. So that is a kind of a women empowerment. So you have to show and do such movie streaming. Either it is motivational, number one, or it could be showing the social status of the women, or could be there was a movie called Mardani, in which Rani Mukherjee was shown and under a very empowered role. So that is really going to motivate your students. Then you had, on the Netflix, we have a particular web series which is called as Mental Hood by Karishma Kapoor. So what she did was she started writing the internet blogs, right? So, under this, make it a very regular program that every week you have to stream a movie. Whatever are the number of students they are showing will be under the participation list, and that will be counted as a beneficiary. So you have to make an activity list in which first is the serial number, second is the name of the activity which you've done, third will be the number of benefits or the number of beneficiaries, and what is the outcome. So just a very brief about the movie, that this particular movie sensitized the gender perspective, showing the women in the empowered role or something like this. So you can also show them Jhansi Ki Rani, because that was the struggle of the independence and all. So there is a movie called Pad Man, in which the sanitary napkins was the perspective. So let us talk about it openly. Let us not take it as a taboo on the women. So we are structurally born like this, that we have to face all these physical challenges in life. So Pad Man movie can be shown to your students. Similarly, there is a movie called Lajja. There's a movie called Lajja. There is a movie called Khamosh Pani. There's a movie called Pink. So all these movies can be substantially useful to actually know about the scenario of the women in the Indian perspective, and is going to open the mindset of the students also. That they will start seeing the movie. You must be aware that during the time which we see movie, we are into it. We start characterizing ourselves into that movie. So just see the females which you have in your college are of very tender age. So whatever way you will mold them, they will be molded. If you mold them in a very positive manner, they will be molded in that particular manner. So the movies like Pink, Khamosh Pani, Maricom, Lajja, then Mental Blogs, Mental Hood on the blogs, in which the Karishma Kapoor was earning, and she became a celebrity after just writing the internet blogs. Then we have a movie called Mardani, in which the she was Rani Mukherjee was shown in a very empowered role. Then we have a movie called Mani Karnika. Mani Karnika is about the Queen of Jhansi, so you can show them. Then we had a movie called Damini, in which the rape was highlighted, and eventually she took steps so that the culprit was vindicted, right? So then we had a movie called Mirch Masala, self-help group. So you can just Google some kind of, besides movie, you can have the Netflix web series. Yes, you know some movie? Rehai, yes. So you can also add to list. These were from my side and just illustrations which I wanted to give you, but you can have such events, because the audit team, whosoever auditor you will hire, the audit team will come, and there are some 12 key parameters. They'll start gathering the information about how sensitive the college is about the particular issues. So that is why I've started listing those recommendations. The first was for transgender. The second recommendation which I want to give you is about movie streaming. Besides movies, you can also show them some documentaries. So documentaries are which are women centric, which are gender centric, which are transgender centric, which are, I mean, there are 2-3 movies which are especially on the gay relationships, in which a male was suffering from this, not suffering, I would say, he was gay, and eventually he prepared his family to have a partner, a male partner. So that kind of, because no relationship is straight these days. So we have to respect the diversity and the kind of perspective or the habits the individual has. So this was one thing. And then this was about the movie streaming and the serial watching and the web series and the documentaries. So you can make a particular 2, 3 people responsible for this. Take the permission from the principal and the head of the institution of the college that this is what we, because no obnoxious, no say pornographic things are allowed in the college. So you must went with your head of the institution before streaming it to the college at large. So this is one compliance. That otherwise, because the head of the institution is responsible and held responsible for any Tom, Dick, and Harry thing. So showing a movie which is having some bad nuances should not be shown. So the movie should be watched by that particular streaming cell, whatever you will make under that this gender audit perspective. So if the green signal or the heads up comes from the principal, then you can start streaming. But try and make it a weekly activity, because here the efforts are very genuine. Because then, of course, you can make a Google form and just make this data once. This is really going to be very helpful. After showing a particular movie or a documentary or any web series, you can generate a set of multiple choice questions of say 5 or 6 and make it in a Google form and make it mandatory for all the students to fill that. So in that, there should be one column where their perspective is asked. So you will have a repository of so many good advices that what do you think about this movie? What specific things you have highlighted? So it is going to be a very beautiful documentation for NAC, and the gender audit will be excellent. Although the gender audit is going to come, let me tell you, the NAC work is not there to, make you some under the stressful or the fearful environment. NAC environment for assessment and accreditation is just to motivate you, to upgrade you, to upskill you, to make you better and better. So this perspective must be in mind. So people have this kind of an orientation that okay, we have to do so much of work, and in your daily routine lives also you will start talking to your family that I am flooded with work all the time. I have to do the NAC work. No, that should not be your orientation and perspective. This college is giving you bread and butter. So put in your heart and soul, be innovative, try and adopt certain pedagogies which is going to make you enriched. So this is a win-win situation, both for the institution, for the faculty members, and for the grading. So see how beautiful effects it has, spillover effects for upgradation of everyone for that matter. So besides movie watching, besides transgender, there's another recommendation which is coming from my side is try and have some creative writing for the gender perspective. Make departmental essay writing competition, poetry writing competition, slogan writing competition. So these 3 things, storytelling competition. So this will going to actually brainstorm the minds of the students. They will start putting and make it everything mandatory. That once a week, this kind of an activity, there should be a notice coming on from the college to entire faculty members, non-teaching members, students, that every weekend, say Friday or a Saturday, because it's hardly a job for just filling the Google form. But yes, watching a movie should be a pleasure. Because after watching that movie only, that particular cell will make 5 questions or say, make it very small, just a 5-minute job. That should not be an add-on work onto these students, just a 5-minute small work. That what was the main perspective, what was the gender issue which was highlighted in pink, for example. So all these parameters have to be kept in mind. So poetry, that comes under the creative writing. So I think from the writing point of view, from the report writing point of view, the members should volunteer. And every time the report should be from the different people, which should be a combination of English department mandatorily, because they have beautiful English, right? Then about social sciences, because they understand the social issues nicely. And of course, the other streams, they are most welcome to put in their comments and give their suggestions. So try and have every communication, every notice saved on the Google Drive, side by side, because it is going to be an add-on activity otherwise. So we have highlighted the recommendations of the transgender. We have highlighted the recommendations of movie streaming, documentary. Then about, you can also start a page on the Facebook for specifically the faculty members. One, specifically for the students angle two. Again, from the gender perspective. Float a topic every week or every 15 days. The teachers are supposed to, write, say, 5 lines, 6 lines, which is hardly a job because we always tweet also. We, make comments also, and it is good. We can have nowadays a discussion on Talibanese women also. They are suffering a lot. So have a sensitization program on that also. You can mention and write it because all these things will matter. Similarly, when Nirbhaya case was famous, so if you cannot show in reality the kind of scenes which they show on the movies, so cut that part, edit that part under the YouTube video editor, but show it to your students, vent it completely so that it is not having any pornographic disabilities into that particular, say, documentary or a movie, but or you can also have the animated pictures. They are also now very, very in. The animated, women-centric animated movies can also be shown. It is a very simple job. You just have to share a link to the students, ask them to watch at their convenient time. Should not be streamed, directly from the college, but you can always share a link that this is the documentary of the week, this is the movie of the week, this is the documentary or a small short film of the week, and you will be shared every Friday 5 o'clock this Q&A form, Google form. So that is, I think, it is going to make everybody's work very convenient. So similarly, under the creativity, you can have the essay writing, poetry writing, slogan writing, and short stories. So what I want, that after you have a particular Facebook page on the blog writing, on the creativity part, everything will be, because there's a perspective of NIRF, that you have a perspective on the public image. So public image will be made only when you are very happening on the social media. So you can have the Facebook page. As I said, please make it happen. Otherwise, you're not going to make a mark in the social media. Try and have one tweet from the college every week, which is gender sensitive, right? Similarly, on the LinkedIn part, on the Facebook part, on the Instagram, everywhere the college should make a presence. Again, the center would be what? The center should be gender. Because you have to list your activities before the gender audit is taking place, then what the particular gender sensitization programs the college has done. So it is really going to be nice, and you can involve here the students. I mean, every work as far as the social media is concerned can be done by the students under the supervision of the teachers. It is going to empower your students because they are so technically savvy that, there's not be any kind of an add-on work onto the teachers. The add-on work is just to monitor them, to have an evaluation of what has been done on the Facebook page, etc. Then another recommendation is, since we are into the upskilling of the women, so you can have started with some add-on skill courses. You have some add-on skill courses in your college?
We have on French, Chinese, personality development.
Okay, you have on personality development, foreign languages. But yes, now you can start with some add-on courses, have a tie-up with some organizations, especially for the culinary skills, for the cooking skills. Because this is one activity, again, which is not very popular with the other colleges. So culinary skills can actually give them employment. They can start with their dabba services. I mean, especially we have students coming from Pan India. Not everyone is financially good. So, having such kind of culinary skill programs, is going to add to their employability. Similarly, you can have some 1 week add-on course in which, like Diwali is coming, so you can have some good art and craft also, like diya making, like pot painting, and you can have a display of exhibition of your own students or even the faculty. Some people are so good in all these things, and even one of your teachers who's good in all this can also take some training workshops. So even if you don't have a tie-up with the organizations, any of your faculty members is good in all this can take under the skill programs. So skill orientation of the women is a very, very important recommendation for the gender audit and gender perspective audit. So again, having, okay, then you can have some stage plays.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You talked about culinary skills workshop, right? Or an add-on course.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it would require some kind of a setup for a kitchen. Or
Yeah, yeah. So that is what I'm saying. You can have a tie-up with the any of the culinary organization and have an MOU with them. So everything will be used by them, and you will have the outcomes, desired outcomes. Your students can be a part of that. It is going to be actually very, very hit. Like in Shamlal College, the principal is my classmate, so he does that master chef program for the university. So after the outcomes of that, he said that many people are interested into far less cooking. So we have to be very innovative in that part also. I mean, people are very diet conscious, so you can have it under the health issues also. The cooking, which is good from the health point of view also, because we have to cover the gender perspective from all the angles. Be it physical activity, then you can have some aerobics for the girls, or morning, like you already had a yoga session, which was very good. I attended twice and twice because I'm a very late riser nowadays. So much of work is there. So otherwise, having these kind of regular programs from your college point of view is really going to give you good manage, because you are here to take care of the health of your students and the faculty members. So having a persistence and continuity of such programs is very essential. Like you had a yoga program, now you can have a combination of the two, or maybe you have some specific exercises for the people who are above 50 like me. So, because we cannot jump, we cannot do the other kind of activities. So, special sessions for the women of your college to take care of their health relating to some very light exercises. So, you can start that program also. That is also going to give a lot of benefits for the gender perspective. So, you can have, you can also take.
So I have another question that's like
Yeah, please,
popping
please.
in my mind.
That's an interactive workshop. So, anyone who's welcome.
So for the movie streaming session, you had mentioned that of course the content, I mean, should not be a pornographic
Yes,
content.
yes.
It should be safe. Now the question is that if supposing there is a movie with that UA kind of a theme, so and there is some sexual content which is a part of the movie and it is required to be there.
So let it be there. As far as there's no visual scenes, it's okay. Because we actually want to tell the real story that how the women is facing the violence, the domestic violence. You can also show the movies of domestic violence, which are centric to that. Because we have to empower our women. Even if the language is obnoxious, it's okay. Because we have to give them a message. And if we cut that particular part, which is having some obnoxious comments or something, we are going to lose the nuance of showing that movie. So let it be. As far as the visual scenes are not there, I think we need to give the message to our students that this is what you don't have to face. This is what you have to say no about it. No means no. Like the Pink movie had a message, no means no. Even if it's your wife, that's okay. But the kind of language, if it is obnoxious, just addressing to your question, but it is if the outcome of that question is very important for the students to learn that yes, this is what the actual scenario is. Let it be.
Yeah,
But the visual part has to be cut. The visual part we cannot show. If anybody wants to have a look on the complete movie, they have all the access. They have all the liberty to do that. But yes, under the college framework, under the good nuances in which you are trying to teach something, try and avoid certain things which have some pornographic implications on the students.
So next is very important is that you should have a regular workshops on when the college will be opening or till the time the college opens. You can have a virtual tour of the actual markets, the markets where the women runs the shops. So you can have a one-to-one interview with them. That how do they feel that when the customers come? How do they talk about how much money they earn? So they will be very close to reality. So it is one of the prime gender perspective to actually show the marketplace. This is also very very important. Let me tell you, they will have a good and a beautiful learning experience talking to those vendors, talking to those ladies who are running those shops, and outcomes will be that they will have so many new things coming up, so many learning aspects will be there, new perspectives they will unveil. So take them to the market, the local markets, the particular sabji markets, fruit markets, where the actual India lives, because 70% is rural. We are not going to show them only the rosy picture of India. We have to actually show them. This is a gender perspective to actually show how hard life of the people, the women are when they are, making their both ends meet with so much of struggle the whole day. So taking to the local markets is also there. Then I have not visited your campus. Your campus should have a visibility of the posters which show equality. And it should be not two what the old posters are showing, it should be now three: male, female, and transgender. So you should have a slogan competition amongst the faculty members also, amongst the students also. You will have thousands of slogans. So there should be, Nanaji installed a digital board in which every day it should be changed. It should be very very impactful, and it should that digital board will be visible for all the visitors who come to your college. The first thing which they will say, see, is a gender equality slogan. It is very impactful because, again, I was sharing my experience when the NAC team visited my college. I was told to put all the posters. So there was a equality, was a being balance on male and female. They disregarded them. They said, no, this should not be the poster. Where is the third gender? So from the beginning, only from my experiences, I'm telling you, your campus, this is another recommendation, your campus should be full of such good posters and sensitized by the faculty members. I mean, I think after every classroom, you can have a beautiful colored poster which is framed. It is going to make your campus very beautiful, which is gender inclusive. Next, whatever opportunities will be given from the head of the institution, in the present case, it's Nanaji. So please make sure that the opportunities are given to everyone, not because she's a female or a male. It should be gender neutral. Gender neutral opportunities should be spilled over from the head of the institutions to the entire faculty members. It should not be the case that you are a female, that is why you're getting the opportunity, or you are a male, you're getting an opportunity. It should be mentioned in your gender policy that we give the opportunities which is gender neutral. Gender neutral is very important because now I can see the male faculty members also are writing part of their organizations. So organization that is Kalambi College. So everywhere the opportunities should be equal, given to all. Right? This is one of the prime, and this data has to be given for the gender. That how much money is going to be spent by the college on the various workshops, various training workshops, various conferences, various research further activities, extension programs. So be a part of it. Be a part of it. One, it is going to increase your knowledge. Two, it is going to enhance the gender data of the college. And the auditors will also be very, very happy because now gender audit report has to be submitted along with the SSR. So these two documents have to be submitted simultaneously. So now, since your report is down the line, your on the preparations and the preparations is on the speed track mode. So what I request you is, because you have to report the gender-based activities in your college simultaneously every week, twice a week, every week, twice a week, gender-sensitive program to be done by all departments. So but in a particular, how many departments you have? 20, 21. 21 departments into 42 activities per week you will have. So how beautiful your report will be. But every department must be thoughtful about conducting the gender sensitization program. Please do it on a fast track. It is really going to make your data very, very good. The gender policy very good. And then it is not for the knack that we are doing. We have a moral obligation. We have a moral duty to always talk about gender equality and gender perspective. So all the departments simultaneously 2 weeks per till the time your report is submitted. Then you have to make a list department wise and assimilate the data and report it as one activity, one entire document PDF for the entire gender sensitization program. So another thing which I would like to tell you is about, there are some very important social issues like family planning, like use of contraceptives, like use of unsafe sex. So these kind of issues should also be reflected in your gender reports. It is not a taboo, let me tell you. Again, use of contraceptive, unsafe sex, family planning, these kind of bold topics should be reflected in your gender policy. That we always, give a very important takeaway to our students. That yes, this is the scenario. We have to control the population because unnecessarily unproductive money is going just for eating. So if we have the slogans like, two, like male and female should only have one child. Now there is a concept of DIGS, double income, no kids. So they want to go in and for the adoption of the child. So these kind of activities, like for example, you have to make for a female college. The gender audits is all about spreading the awareness about all the activities which is happening in the society. So in the society, the adoption is also taking place. So sensitize them about the adoption. What are the specific? This is again going to be very good activity because you are giving a life to a child without parents. So just step to step guide can be made. It can be animated, made under the name of your college. Then you can make a documentary of your faculty members about the gender sensitization, their views on gender sensitization. It can be streamed to the entire students. So this is one innovative thing you can do. So Nanaji, you can have a recording of all the staff members about what do they feel about gender sensitivity. So this is going to add again to the multiple views and it will be uploaded on the YouTube channel of your college. I think you have that channel, YouTube channel. So please do small activities, make a YouTube link, put it on the YouTube, like and share amongst all the students, among the faculty members. This is going to make your presence, your perspective, that how sensitive you are towards the gender, be it a male, be it a female, be it a transgender. So this was another recording of the documentary by the faculty members. Then you have a similar recording from the prime 10% of the students also. So this work you can just delegate to them. They are so good in making the videos. So ask your students that from the commerce department, I need at least 30 to 50 students putting their views about the gender sensitivity. So automatically you will have 21 videos of the number of departments you have. Similarly, you will have one video from the principal, you will have one video from the faculty members. So how important steps it would be when you talk about the gender orientation perspective, spreading the awareness is concerned. I hope I'm making sense to all of you. Then you can have some online stage plays, which can actually be taken care of by. Is some issue?
Question पूछना चाह रही है
Question will be answered at the end. Let me because otherwise I'm going to lose the things which I want to actually tell you. So there was a movie called I am forgetting the name, but I'm just giving you the nuance of that. there was a concept of the widows, in which they were, their hairs were shaved and they used to live in an ashram. So please, after water, in which they were forced to be in prostitution, right? During the night, they were taken to the other part of the river and they were, sexually assaulted by some group of people or whatever. The water movie should be shown to everyone. Water movie is going to tell you about the wrong practices which were prevalent in the past years, in the yesteryears. So nowadays, if anything, because everyone has to die, sometimes it is the male, sometimes it is the female. That doesn't mean that you're going to have an obnoxious life. You are there, you live only once. So we can promote such talks, we can promote such activities which are going to say no to such activities, say that particular water. So you can ask some questions after the streaming is done. If you're doing it in even the classroom exercise can be very good. If you are into a political science or BA program, so these kind of movies which is having a social status or showing some bad practices in the yesteryears can be stopped and have a good discussion. Yes.
There is a Malayalam movie, The Great Indian Kitchen.
Okay. The Great Indian Teachings.
The Great Indian Kitchen.
Kitchen. Okay. So I have no idea about it.
Even there is a movie called Thappad.
Thappad, yes, Thappad is good.
Related to everyday life of the woman.
See, nowadays we have the younger population, so they relate very well with the current serials. They relate very well with the web series. So try and find out such particular documentaries, movies, some serials or web series which are going to give the message in their way, because they want everything. They are very very friendly with the computers. So just send them a link. Okay, like this is what is called as a flipped classroom. Yes, like flipped classroom, gender sensitization program. You can watch that. Flipped classroom means what? That in the beginning only you are going to share the resources with your students. That is e-resources, and ask them that your next class will be based on this particular serial, movie, or web series or whatever. So find time to listen to this. Try and be very very small. आप उस movie का एक clip भी दिखा सकते हो. It's not that the entire movie has to be shown. Like Etraz has a very good gender sensitization message. So have a look. Find out for your own self. This is your activity. So Etraz can be that particular part which shows the gender part. So try and be innovative. Put some good efforts to make the gender sensitization program a success, a big success, that wherever gender sensitization is discussed, Kalindi College should be highlighted. That they are the ones who are doing so much in this regard. So it is actually going to make you very happy that you are going to give your students what they deserve. They deserve even much more. Let us break all the stereotypes of explaining them, these are the merits, these are the demerits. This is the discussion. So please break it. We are into a 21st century. So we are like the facilitators. So try and be a facilitator in your class. Convert your class into a flipped classroom. This is such a beautiful concept, because mandatorily they have to listen, they have to read, they have to watch. And the outcomes is that you can always have the good discussion in the class. Otherwise, they are like brain dead sitting in the class, switching off their videos, switching off their mics. If you ask them questions, the answer comes. My mic is not working. Ma'am, the signal is very low. So please listen to this at their own time, when the connection is good, when they can switch on their videos, they can listen to the audios. So it will be wonderful experience if you try once from my side the flipped classroom. And actually flipped classroom gender sensitization program, once a week or twice a week, as I said, will be a very good experience. You will also learn, let me tell you. The faculty is the one who always learns till the death. Once a teacher, always a teacher. So all these things have to be in mind to make. Then you can have, as I said, the creative writing, essay writing and all. You can have a program called Lekhan. ठीक है, जेंडर को हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं? हिंदी का क्या है? Lekhan. Link Lekhan. So you can have a link Lekhan competition. Language Lekhan, you can have a program. You have to find out your own, just adding to your some colors to your program. Adding some colors.
हमारे यहाँ बहुत ही क्लब है, ये रचनात्मक लेखन एक क्लब है।
नहीं, रचनात्मक को हटा के आप सिर्फ जेंडर लेखन कर दो आप। That is going to give you good knowledge.
रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट हम लोग करवाते हैं।
आपके स्पेसिफिक प्रोजेक्ट्स कुछ जेंडर रिलेटेड हैं?
Yes, I have taken a project on women representation in Parliament from Northeast.
So that's really great that Rekha ji is doing a gender-based projects, because that is a specific question in gender audit. That how many research projects are oriented towards the gender. So that's really good.
एक मैंने भी करवाया था स्त्री विरोधी।
अच्छा, that's really good. तो ये सारा gender orientation है। Nana ji, your college is already doing so much. So you just have to document, because जंगल में मोर नाचा किसने देखा? तो आप जब तक बताएंगे नहीं किसी को कि आप ये कर रहे हैं, तो आपने कैसे पता लगेगा? So in the discussion only so many things are coming up, and it's a very beautiful endeavor. Rekha ji is doing for Northeast, for the parliamentary participation, and they are doing for the Indian Bollywood songs, that what particular things are not in the good in the public domain. So this is all showing a gender orientation. So please document it.
एक चीज और ऐड कर सकता है, जैसे हमारा एकेडमिक जर्नल है, तो वहाँ बहुत सारे आर्टिकल आते हैं। मेरा अपना ही आर्टिकल है 2018 में, तो हमने इसी ट्रांसजेंडर पे मैंने काम किया था। मनोभी बंदोपाध्याय जो पहले प्रिंसिपल है ट्रांसजेंडर की, तो ये काम तो हम बहुत पहले से कर रहे हैं।
नहीं, आप देखिए ये एनुअल प्रोग्राम है, तो आपने जो किया उसको एक्सटेंड करो
और भी करते हैं।
प्लीज एक्सटेंड इट टू द करंट ईयर, because gender audit is for a year, so they will not take the data which you have done in the yesterday's.
करते रहेंगे और भी कुछ जोड़ सकते हैं।
वही कहते हो, आपको जोड़ना पड़ेगा ना, इसलिए पुराना डेटा हम यूज नहीं करेंगे।
बिल्कुल से जोड़ना है।
In 2021, we have done almost 13 gender-related programs.
13.
Yeah.
So I told you in a week you can add 42. So 13, where does it come? It comes nowhere. So similarly, you can have Nana ji few tie-ups with Delhi Police, with the women's cell, some tie-ups with the legal bodies, some tie-ups with the NGOs. That's very important, because NGOs are the ones who are doing something good for the society. So have a hand holding with them, do some joint collaborations, because this is also one of the questions in gender audits, that what specific gender oriented programs you doing with the NGOs. So please select only those NGOs which are doing the work for the gender specific. We have similarly the NGOs for transgender, have a tie-up with them. Women development, have a tie-up with them. Women empowerment. So have good number of donkey numbers of tie-ups with many of the organizations. This is going to be beneficial. Why? Having a tie-up with the Delhi Police, you can sensitize an online program for a Himmat app. There's an app called Himmat. Himmat app में क्या है कि if you ask all your faculty members, female and your students, to download that particular app from the Play Store. So if they are in trouble, they can just give a missed call. So automatically their location will be shared to the Delhi Police, and just in 5 minutes, they will be rescued. The people will come for their rescue. This is for the gender safety. So this orientation has to be done. Again, this program has to be done. There are, n number of good apps, which is very good for the safety, but students and teachers, they don't know about it. So there is a animated film on Himmat, उसको भी आप stream कर सकते हैं। Himmat app में पूरा वो दिखाते हैं कि वो the girl is surrounded by some, the bikers, and then she was in pain and she called that number, so police came. So I took a workshop on the Himmat app. So I was sitting, I am the police officer of Kirtinagar, police mitra officer of Kirtinagar. I'm running 2 NGOs. So what I did, when I was taking the workshop, just to test that particular app, I dialed a number, or as if I am in trouble. So within no time, the police people came, that who's in trouble. So I was sitting up in the police station only. So they came upstairs. So I was just testing that particular app of Himmat. So it is a wonderful app. So please ask all your students and the faculty members to download that app. So that is for the women's safety. And you should make sure, take a Google form that who has downloaded. So they have to submit a screenshot of their phones just to ensure that they are doing it. It's for their own safety that they're doing. So similarly, we have an app called Safety Pin. We have a Smart 24/7. We have Shake to Safety. We have Safety Pin. So these are the 6 top apps of Delhi Police. So out of this, the best is Himmat app, which was inaugurated by the Commissioner of Police, and it is like we have tested that app, and even I asked my students to download that, and it is excellent when you are going into or coming out from your institutions late or whatever, because you should be empowered. Then you should have a particular program on the helpline numbers. Helpline numbers by again Delhi Police people, that if the woman is in trouble, what particular number she has to dial, and ask your students to keep those dialing numbers on the quick dials. आप इसको policy में mention कर सकते हैं in the safety policies for the women. You can, I mean, whatever you're doing, you can start under the series of Know Yourself, Protect Yourself. All these small programs, you can have a series of Know Yourself, Protect Yourself. So nowadays, there's a problem that we are living in a world which is enabled by information and communication technologies, but still we are unaware of so many things. So I'm into it, so I know it. But normally, if I talk to many of the faculty members of various other colleges, they don't know. So it's okay. It's always a first time. So Know Yourself, Protect Yourself can be a series in which you can have small online programs of helpline numbers, women's safety, then Himmat app. All these will form a part of this. Then under the rape workshops, under the acid attacks. आजकल acid attacks बहुत हो रहे हैं. So acid attacks के लिए what is the first step you can do? If you are a victim of a rape, what is the best thing you can do? Where you have to complain, which hospital you have to connect. ये चीजें बच्चों को नहीं पता. So you can have a step-to-step guide, which are already there. You have to customize it, make it your own. I mean, आप gather कर लिए resources से, and you can make on your own a step-to-step guide of, if you are a victim, how to save yourself further. Where you have to complain, which number you have to dial, who you have to complain. Number, which is very important, is your college complaint committee, internal complaint committee. So, इसकी visibility आपकी website पे जरूर होनी चाहिए. हाँ, तो आप तो बहुत अच्छे programs, आप initiative लीजिए इसका, and you can always do that. So you can manage it, write her name. She has a paper on this. Know yourself, protect yourself. What's your good name? Political science.
Political science में है ये पेपर हम पढ़ा रहे हैं.
तो आपने बताया ना आपको हर डिपार्टमेंट में ये करना है, तो आप you should be thoughtful and mindful in naming the names of the program, which is a buzzword, which is very catchy, and which is going to make the students participate. Please make your students participate wishfully and willingly. Otherwise, they will not learn. So, आप थोड़ा सा backdrop दीजिए, a few of the introduction part you can give, and then you will find that they are so happy being a part of it. So, those gender-sensitive indicators, आपके जो 7 indicators हैं, curriculum, then we have teaching, learning, we have research, we have infrastructure, we have student support, we have organization and management, and we have healthy practices. What NAC has done is, इन्हीं 7 criteria के basis पे उन्होंने gender के index आपका दिया है, which I'm going to share it with you. You can share it with the participants. They are on the website also, and this is an interim update. So it is very easy now that you can refer to these 7 indicators. और ये 7 indicators में हर college को test किया जाएगा कि ये 7 indicators में gender perspective क्या है. Like in the curriculum, what add-on courses are there for the women-centric, which are women-centric. So that is one. So there are specifically particular points are mentioned. Similarly, for the teaching learning evaluation, gender segregated data on the students, that how many of them are doing PG, UG, but since it's a co-ed college, it's a girls college, so you have to actually stress upon enabling them, making them 21st century challenges ready. आपको women को ready करना है challenges के लिए. तो जितनी भी women colleges का gender audit होगा will be on the basis of the workshops, on the basis of the recommendations which I have already given you. So it is really going to be a very good audit and you will enjoy doing it because आपका जो document ready होगा और जितना आपके बच्चे इसमें पार्ट ले सकते हैं, स्लोगन राइटिंग का करिए तो आपके पास ऑटोमेटिक डिजिटल स्लोगन आ जाएंगे एंड यू कैन इवन चेंज इट ऑन योर वेबसाइट डेली द स्लोगन ऑफ द डे. So I mean this shows the gender orientation. So college complaint committee should be very visible on the website and the process of which should be known to the girls if they are feeling harassed, not using or being biased with anyone. There are some incidences, so we have to discuss. If some non-teaching, some teaching faculty is involved in a wrong activity with the students, so what is the course that they have to follow? So step-to-step guide for the all these aspects have to be highlighted, and they should be very much visible on the college complaint committee on the website. The students should know whom to dial. Of course, the first number is of the principal. If the student is unable to call anyone, report to anyone, the incidents to anyone, it is the time for the principal to take action immediately because this is one thing which cannot be ignored. Right? So I think you already have it on the website, your college complaint, but it should be visible on the front tab, wherein on the drop down the whole message is given to the students, and this is how you have to go, and this is how you have to find out. That is the sexual harassment cell, etc. Do you have any lady doctor in your college?
Yeah.
She comes on a regular basis, or she's on call, or she's available on few days.
Automatically.
So please make again a tab,
Also have
and all these things should be circulated amongst the students with the bulk SMS. That if you are having any issues, the doctor is available. Please make it. You have to actually notify to the students that the medical facility is available around this period and around these days. And for the faculty members also, for the students also, the visibility of the medical support which is being extended by the college. Similarly, Nanaji, you have to conduct a medical program with MAX or with any of the organizations. They have the extension directors. So call their extension directors और सभी का medical checkup करेंगे. Teaching, non-teaching, इसमें आपको gender segregated data भी देना पड़ेगा because you have males in your teaching faculty also and you have males in your non-teaching department also. So the medical health checkup is very important because this also shows the gender orientation about their safety health issues, right? So visibility of the availability of the doctor. You can also buy one bulk SMS service for the college, so in which whatever are the updates coming up, whatever are the workshops coming up will be immediately given and extended to the students via SMS. But nowadays we find it very difficult that people don't read the text messages. So people are more on the social media, they are more on the websites, they are more on the other pages. So try and give the information on all. This is my humble submission. Whatever information you want to be passed on to the faculty members and to the students, make it visible in all on the website as well as on the social media, as well as by the text message. Again, you can mention in your gender policy that we are very sensitive about the medical issues. And we have a doctor on call or we have a doctor who's available on these days at this time. So anyone who has any issues can contact the doctor. The doctor name is this. And for emergency, only text or WhatsApp on this number. You can also you can ask your doctor to give a emergency number in which only the WhatsApp messages are given. And they can be addressed if there is only in case of a medical emergency. They should not be bothering the doctor because bothering a doctor is too bad. Because we have already the COVID times and the medical emergencies are always there. Every time we are facing the medical emergency, so we should not be bothering. So you should depute 2-3 numbers from the college who are also a part of that team, the medical team. So medical checkups are mandatory for everyone, and that too a regular monthly checkup. Not a monthly checkup, you can always have a medical checkup after 3 months for everyone. Everyone means even the guards. You also have to mention what physical amenities are you giving to your students, again with the gender orientation. Do they have a restroom? Do you have a sanitary napkin machine, vending machine? Do you have a sanitary napkin burner in your college? You have it.
Yeah.
The burner also?
Not
You can also ask for, because there's also a question on that. You should also have, because it is not environmentally good to dispose of the packs like this. So please, if you want, I have a tie-up with somebody so they can install the vending machine as well as the burner free of cost. So I'll give you a number, you can have a tie-up with them. It's under their CSR endeavors. Similarly, it is very, very important to look for some healthy practices. Like I've already discussed that you have to take up some women topics, some discussions, some debates, some kind of leadership camps. This is very important. Because you will be amazed to know that if you talk about the Indian scenario, we have only 5% of the women who are on the top position. Only 5%. We also call it as the managing director positions. We also call it as a C-suite positions. We also call it as highest managerial positions. So people are very, very unhappy when you have a female boss. I have taken it very closely. We're not going to disclose any story, but I've taken it very closely that to have a female boss in your college is not taken, is not at all taken, right? So this was just on a healthier note, so please don't take it otherwise. So we have to make our girls such good trainers as far as the leadership positions are concerned. We want them to lead, we want them to steer, we want them to be on the top position, we want them to be the managing directors of the company. So in this particular endeavor, you have to actually give them training. So please conduct few workshops that how the leadership positions can be attained and sustainable. The leadership programs are also required and is one of the prime criteria offered by NAC under the interim update. You have to conduct, you have no choice, you have to conduct the leadership managerial training program for your girls, for all departments, across departments, because the leader can be of any organization. Then you have to sometimes organize some camps. Let the position be fine. Then of course we will be back to our original working of the college. So even the Delhi University is thinking of opening the colleges in a phased manner. So you can have small camps. They will stay here. The camping part gives you a load. So even this camping part has been declared by NAC that you have to do certain campings. So in the camps, you will be knowing to how to stay together, how the responsibilities are to be delegated, how the personality development takes place. In a camp, it is very good. I mean, there's too much of a learning. You must have seen that in your less than +2 level, your kids, they insist you that we have to go for a camp. So have you ever thought about it, that why the college schools are doing camping? The camping gives you so much of learning experience, living together, enhancing their personalities, enabling them for the challenges that they are facing. So all these things have to be kept in mind. And of course, you have to move on with this. Then, of course, the gender audit takes place under the promotion schemes also. How many of your teaching, non-teaching staff is promoted? That means you value them. That means the institution, I'm not talking about the principal, let me tell you. It is always the institution which is highlighted, not the principal. So if you have good number of promotions, if you have good number of elevations in your college, it is considered as very good. Because it shows that your hard work pays. It's a gender orientation. Right? That the males also are promoted from this grade to this, you have to make a document for 5 years. You have to make the pie charts, you have to make the under the different categories, you can also make a bar chart that over the 5 years, you have to talk about the number of promotions which have taken place, etc. So it's a kind of a good sign for the organization, a kind of a healthy practice that your hard work is being valued. Similarly, there's one more point which I would like to highlight here, that you should have the counseling cell in your college. You have that?
Yeah, we have.
How active it is? The question is that. See, as if you're talking to an auditor, although I am an auditor. So tell me about your women counseling cell. Do you have it?
We have it and we have a counselor also.
So how much work that counseling cell does? How many activities have been done? How many cases have been referred to? How many action taken reports have been taken? So you have to actually work on the counseling cell. You must be knowing that during these COVID times, there are n number of students who have suffered depression. So if you are gender sensitive, if you are having a gender orientation, you have to work towards the counseling because there are relationship issues also these days. People they feel depressed. The students they are not able to come out. In my college, in Audit evening, after I left that college, there were 3 suicides of the girls who were in third year. One was in second year, one was in first year. It was all because of the depression. So when a child dies in such a younger age, how difficult it is for a nation, how difficult it is for a family, how difficult it was when the child was suffering. So you should be taking care of 360-degree development perspective of the gender, be it your physical health, be it your mental health, because mental health nowadays is of prime importance because in the COVID times, the things are not that simple. You cannot meet people because when you meet people, you went so many things. Since online, you cannot share. You have a serious fear of being recorded, right? That's why I should, be vulnerable in that case. So that is why, having this kind of a counseling session one-to-one, where the privacy is maintained of the students, you have to make sure you have to actually give it in writing to the student that you can discuss any Tom, Dick, and Harry issues with the counselor, and there's a privacy agreement that your particular issues, your conversation will be kept in a very private mode. Only then they will start getting the courage to come up and discuss the things with the counselor. So all these issues have to be of prime importance. Even if you're working, you have to increase it multiple times for the audits.
How do you address the documentation part here when you're saying
Women health issues, mental health.
What I mean to say is that you're saying that whoever is seeking counseling or
Yeah.
discussing an issue.
Few cases where you don't have to document the name. You have to refer to that there was a case of a relationship issues which were tackled very nicely, and the action taken report that the child is happy now and is able to come up. So you don't have to refer to the name or the cause. That has to be secret.
So NAC is okay with that kind of a.
Yeah. That's a kind of an orientation which is shown. The counseling cell has to be in a working cell. Working cell, very active cell, which takes care of even the small thing. So there are some general issues also which you can talk to the counselor. It's not that you always have to talk in a very private mode. That part has to be concealed and written in a very few sentences that there were few cases of the relationship issues of the depression which were taken very nicely by our counseling cell, and we are available 24/7 to the students, to the faculty, and such an active cell in which आपके कोई teachers भी हैं जिनके पास certified है जो counseling करने के लिए. So there are in few colleges they are there. So that data is also being to be attached.
So when you're talking about the teachers, they have to have some kind of
Certification. Yes. You have a certification, and that too you have to be a psychologist. So the colleges which have the psychology department, their few teachers are competent to do. So then you can make a report that our counseling cell is doing very well, taking care of these small issues and the problems related to the students. So then, if you're doing those gender sensitization programs, it comes under the healthy practices. So I have the categorization, which I am straight away giving to Rakira right now. So there are some few notes which I've written, so you can also refer to them. This is very important document because it has all the 7 indicators which the NAC has given and which the others issues have to be tackled with. So I think just going to wrap up my session and okay. When you have to talk about the gender audit, you have to start planning. Now I'm talking straight to the time of the audit, that what all steps you have to take. You have to plan the audit. In your internal committee only, there has to be an internal audit committee, right? Those internal audit committees, all the teacher in charges, IQAC member, principal is the chair of that committee. You have to actually inside plan that what particular things have to be audited. That is the auditing due diligence. I have a checklist of what steps you have to be taken. That also I will give it to Rakhi once I explain you. So you have everything in mind. Then you have to hire an auditor. You have to give them an offer, the appointment that you are appointed as the auditor of your our college, and you have to plan your audit. So that audit team will come address your in a very informal way. So when the actual audit is going on, there are few recommendations from my side that please don't cook any event because you will be caught. Because there is a questionnaire which you have to fill, substantiated by the interviews one by one, which they choose on their own. Similarly, you have the certain questions which are counter checked. जैसे आपकी शादी हो गई, हाँ जी नहीं हुई है, उधर उसमें लिखा है उसके 3 बच्चे हैं. So there's a contradiction. So why I was giving a very simple example just to narrate what you have to do is substantiated by the counter checks. So it's a kind of a check and balance. You have to be very thorough with your audit reports. Since it's a compliance, it's not an option. So whatever you do, you have to do it, actually do it with the geotag pictures, with the complete evidences, with whole heart and soul, with all the courage that you have to touch upon certain sensitive issues, as I've already spoken about, the menstrual hygiene, the breast cancer. This kind of awareness is very, very important. So you can have tie-ups because every hospital has extension director, social activity extension director. Straight away call them on the Google also you can find their numbers. Call them for a meeting, have a tie-up with them and do these activities one by one. The breast cancer is very, very bad. The whole body scanning also they do free of cost. So there is a program under the MAX in which entire body checkup, including the calcium check, including what are the special tests for the females and special tests for the males, they also conduct. Even the cancer test, they do it free of cost. So the idea is to have a 360-degree sensitization about the genders who are a part of your institutions. You are the caretaker of the institution. So all the heading part, like the head of the departments, the head of the IQAC, the head of the NIRF, you have to actually take all these perspectives which I have given an overview of in mind. It is actually going to give benefits in your entire framework of grading. Be it a Times grading, Atal Bihari Vajpayee grading, and a number of grading systems are there. You can participate in all. And because the data already you're building, so it is good that you talk to them. So I was talking about the audits. When the auditor will come, you have to have an open discussions. That they will just talk on the 12 key areas, like how many tie-ups you have with the NGOs. When you are making a gender policy, do you take their advice? Do you have a tie-up with the legal structure of the country? Do you take their advice when you're making certain perspective as far as the gender sensitization is concerned? So, to what extent, if your answer is yes, to what extent their advice is being incorporated in the gender policy? So, this kind of 12 key areas are there. That particular 12 key areas are not a part of the questionnaire. The questionnaire will be very simple, but they read between the lines. They are the auditors. So have the open discussions with them, take their advice, take their recommendations, take a due date, plan your audit, and I will be giving you a timeline also that during which time your reports are ready, what time you have to send and appoint an auditor. Auditor will come with his team. He will ask for certain set of documentation, and NAC has already given us 7 criteria on the basis of which everything will be based. So that I have already shared. It is on the website. You can just write interim audit update by NAC on gender audit. You will find this document, this soft copy of this. Still on a safer side, I have just given it to her. So you have to talk about the child labor. This is very important. That this is also a gender orientation, because what challenges your gender has to face eventually when they have to join the overall real scenario after completing your degrees. What specific social issues? So please make a mention and please do a workshop for that. Child labor is something which is really bad. So there is an app. If you see a small child working on a tea shop, app immediately complaint file. That shows your gender orientation. So gender orientation mein aapki child labor is one of the prime issues which has come. I have already done 13 complaints. When I see a child working on a shop, I immediately do a complaint. Me and my team members. So immediately the squad will come, rescue the child, and he will have a beautiful life. The kind of treatment they get, try and have, you should be a civil, what do you call it, a civil police for them. Whatever untoward incidents, whatever bad things, you should be sensitive towards these social issues because eventually, and this kind of the workshops, these kind of workshops, etc., if they are done in the college, it spreads a beautiful awareness that yes, the child already knows, the girls already know about it. So actually, this is really good. This is also called as a social audit. The gender audit is also called as a social audit. They are different from the monetary and the financial audits we do. Then you should have a very good stress-free environment in the college because it straight away affects the health of the people. Stress-free environment is very, very important. There should not be any kind of a stress coming on from anyone, any factor. Take the life as it comes. Go, be calm, go slow. Take the things that you have to do. It's a part of your duty. So don't get carried away or bucked up with the work. So it's just that your heart and soul is not matching with the kind of work you have to do, and that is why you feel bad about it. So take it. That's you're in a traffic, you have to wait. You cannot just have a flying gear. Similarly, if you're in an institution, you have to work. We are here to work. We are here to serve the institutions. So serve it from your heart and soul. Have a transformative concept from within. It should not be a transactional approach, it should be a transformational approach for you people. So it's for including me, because whatever I do it with passion. And I must tell you that there's an International Labour Organization participatory audit, owing to which the whole concept has come. After every audit, few countries have passed the Parliamentary Act. There should not be any discrimination. We have some good names. If you open the ILO publications, so there are different forums like CEDAW, that is all forms of discrimination against women, the Beijing Platform for Action, Millennium Development Goals. So they are all the byproducts of the audits. So how important audit is, how important it is to be gender sensitive. After I leave today, I'm sure I have left an impact on your minds, and definitely whatever you will do now, definitely other factors you'll keep on doing, but whatever now you will be doing for the gender audit will be towards the gender perspective. Now I'm ready to answer the questions if you have any, because so do your work for the gender equality. With the positive reinforcement, not with the negative. The last thing I want to highlight here is, in each activity, please involve student councils. Student councils. Whatever councils you have, increase their participation at the substantial extent. Because if anything goes wrong, they have the representation already in that program. Even if you design a particular program on a particular task, make 2-3 students coordinators. Very good.
We have
Very good, because the students will also learn. The students who are coordinating, or give them some kind of applauds, some kind of certificates. So they will be connected, and at every policy making involve the students, because they are a part of the main this is what is called as participatory concept. So please follow the participatory concept. Make the students a vital part of all the policies, documentation, every activity. You will find a difference. How happy they are, how learned they are after the event is over. They've learned so many takeaways they have. Similarly, you can have some English speaking course for the non-teaching staff. The non-teaching staff who are at a lower status have some kind of sensitivity towards them, be it a male or female, like EnglishSeco.com. There are so many apps you can have a tie-up with them. Small gestures will actually make your campus gender inclusive campus, gender neutral campus. You can always place somewhere or the other. It's a gender neutral, campus. Similarly, in your prospectus, please make a mention about gender neutrality, including LGBTQ, that we are gender neutral. We respect. In your prospectus, it should be reflected. So there is an audit on this. They see the documents of the college. That it's not that just by narrating those activities that you will have a good compliance. It is that your documentation should also be reflecting the same thing. It's not that you say something and your documents they are not reflecting any kind of gender sensitivity. Every document should have a gender orientation. So make it a policy. Whatever policies you have, revise it in the gender perspective. One or two lines should be highlighted. Even your prospectus. Your admission is down the line, so you can always add. If it's a digital one, you can always add the gender perspective. That we respect all these genders, LGBTQ and all that. The transgender, the third gender, whatever nomenclature you can use.
Ma'am, how student council is different from students union? Because we have student union.
See, student union is made with a specific objectives in mind, right? The student council specifically you can make for this gender orientation. You can always start with a student council, especially for the implementation and action of gender-based indicators, which are reflected by that. You can always form a new. Why the same body should function? Why not participate various students at various levels? So similarly, you can have departmental brigade. You can make a team of say 5 to 10 students from each department. Then that departmental brigade can be for the college brigade, which is working for the gender orientation. One, you will have a participation of all streams, 20 departments together, and you will have a more diverse opinion coming up from the various departments. So it makes sense. So make a council of each department because there's one thing more because there's so much to tell about. I can go on and on for 5 hours also. So there is a concept in which the auditor will ask about the data of the students. So 10% of each department will be sent a link कि आपका टीचर आपसे क्लास के बाद अलग तो नहीं बोलता कि मेरे से क्लास के बाद पूछना कोई आपको व्हाट्सएप पे कोई गलत मैसेज तो नहीं भेजता you can ask anything. So sensitize your students that if there is an untoward incident coming up or if he's feeling harassed, if he's feeling any issue, you can start with the issue, not straight away the sexual harassment issue. You can ask your students, are you happy? Are you feeling any problem? Faculty members are taking the classes regularly. If not, who's the teacher? Where is the problem coming up? See, now we are living in a very transparent world. So we should be open to such talks. And it is our prime responsibility is to fulfill the obligations which is being delegated by the college. So you never know which 10% of the students will be sent a link. Considering all perspectives, their teaching, their environment, their activities, everything, you don't know what kind of perspective they have. After the talks, because every questionnaire is designed, it is a tailor-made questionnaire. They will have a talk, preliminary talk, before they plan the audit. So, what 10% students, you have to give the data in any case, because it's a compliance. So, what 10% students will be given, what link, what specific questions are there, you don't know. Like similarly for NAC also, we have the links. So, the students have to answer. So, we sensitize the students that you will be sent a link and the better accreditation of the college, the better grades you will get, the better So that's all from today, from me. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can give. I'll stop explaining. This is one.
So one common problem that we face as a girls' college, I mean, I handle the social responsibility cell of the college, and we kind of face certain problems in the sense that we do not at times get permission to send our girls. I mean, what should I say?
I got your point. I got your point. So in that case, yes, in that case, if there is a, because now social extension activities and all, they have now got deep meaning into the accreditation. Because unless and until you reach the reality, you reach the slums, you reach the actual position where the actual India lives, you will not be able to infer anything. So it is the responsibility of the IQAC and the principal to arrange some transport which is safe and sound, taking due permissions from their parents. The undertaking from their parents that this is, please mark it. Wherever you take the girls, take an undertaking. It is always safe to take an undertaking from the parents that there is a visit to slum. Are you allowing your slum? Although required arrangements are done by the college. But college holds no responsibility whatsoever. There's a common language. So take that permission from an undertaking from the parents. Like I used to send the students for trips. So with the picture, with the undertaking form, or now you can have the Google form, you can ask them to paste the picture digitally and take the permission. And please write one line, the college will not be held responsible. Although required safety security arrangements are being made by the college, we are going through this transport with the teacher along, with the teacher representative, with our non-teaching staff also. But if any untoward incident takes place, the college should not be held responsible. You can have a language from the internet, and it is going to give a very safe image to the college. And plus, there are bold girls, and they can always take the responsibility. And make it always voluntary. Don't pass a mandate that you have to be a part of this. Always be liberal in your approach, flexible in your approach, and always take due steps before conducting any of the visits if the girls are involved. Because involving girls is a very sensitive issue. Yes.
Anita, you can ask your question. Just switch on your mic. Maybe Anita. Because Anita Tagore is convener of WSU. And she is really working hard for this.
But please work towards transgender.
Okay. Actually,
This is a missing area.
She is like, I think 2 years back, before COVID, she had organized a program which I had also attended. They had called transgender and transsexual.
But it has to be persistence.
Yeah,
There has to
I
be
understand.
persistence in your program, which clearly reflects the gender orientation in your organization.
हमारी एक अलग स्कीम है कॉलेज की कनेक्ट की तो लास्ट ईयर उन्होंने ऑन लाइन एक प्रोग्राम किया था पहचान एलजीबीटी से नहीं किया फ्लड आया
तो आप ये प्रोग्राम को स्ट्रीमिंग करवाइए
हमारा
ये जेंडर सेंसिटाइजेशन प्रोग्राम है आपको बहुत आप एक काम करिए रेखा जी आपको कोई क्वेश्चंस है जस्ट पोस्ट मी मैं आपको उसका आंसर
ओके ओके आप आइए मैम बैठिए आप वैसे भी बहुत देर हो गई अनीता अनीता हेलो हेलो अनीता अनीता you please switch on your mic and ask the question. Or anyone else willing to ask any question? बहुत इंक्लूसिव था, yes.
सारी चीजें जो हम सोच रहे थे आपने बताया कि बहुत सारी information.
You have media courses? Yeah?
Journalism.
Journalism में तो बहुत अच्छा topics, बहुत अच्छा.
Yes, ma'am. It's really impact my mind, and I think those who are present here, सबको हिला दिया है मैम ने कि क्योंकि अभी तक मैं क्या समझती थी, being a girls college, we don't need this type of gender audit and all. But now I know why should we do this. सिर्फ इसीलिए नहीं कि हमारे यहाँ पर जो मेल है वो टीचर है या नॉन टीचिंग स्टाफ में मेल्स है, लेकिन हमें उन लड़कियों को भी तो उनके अधिकारों का या उनके जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स वो डे टू डे में झेलती हैं, उनको उससे बाहर निकालने के लिए भी जेंडर ऑडिट का होना बहुत जरूरी है. और जो आपने जेंडर रिलेटेड मैम एक्टिविटीज बताई हैं, अब हम कराते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि जैसे हमारा नुक्कड़ नाटक है, रिसर्च में है, हमारा वन एक्ट प्ले है, एंड वी हैव क्लब्स आल्सो. मतलब मैंने जब कल अपनी एनुअल रिपोर्ट देखी तो मैंने ये देखा कि उसमें ऑलमोस्ट 13 मुझे ऐसी एक्टिविटीज दिखी जो जेंडर रिलेटेड थी. और उसमें बहुत अच्छी तरह से, जैसे एनएसएस ने बहुत सारे ऐसे ड्यूरिंग लॉकडाउन इस तरह के कॉम्पिटिशन्स कराए हैं और इतनी अच्छी एक्टिविटीज कराई हैं, और डिपार्टमेंट्स ने भी कराई हैं, और डब्ल्यूडीसी ने तो नंबर ऑफ एक्टिविटीज है जो जेंडर रिलेटेड या जो हमारी वुमेन सिक्योरिटी के लिए या लॉज के लिए जो है वो डब्ल्यूडीसी ने कराया. सो मैम, इन शब्दों में मैं आपका धन्यवाद करूं क्योंकि हमारे माइंड जो थे वो उनको आपने खोला है. बट बिकॉज इट्स माय प्रिविलेज to pose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked hard to make this workshop possible. At the outset, I thank our resource person, Professor Navita Rajmu. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence.
Thank you.
She, despite my busy schedule, she told me that I have one workshop in the evening also. लेकिन उन्होंने हमारे कॉलेज के लिए उस वर्कशॉप को मना किया आज के मैं आज नहीं लूंगी, आज मैं कल भी लूंगी. यस मैम, आप पहले रिसोर्स पर्सन हमारे प्रिंसिपल मैम ने थैंक यू. ओके,
Let's celebrate her birthday.
यस.
जरूरी होता है.
Ma'am, we are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence.
Thank you.
Despite your busy schedule, you found time for us for this workshop. I express my heartful thanks for your valuable contribution, ma'am. We had an extremely, I think, useful day today. We have learned a great deal and are very indebted to Navita ma'am, who have discussed gender equity from many aspects. So since we are working on SSR, your comments are very timely, ma'am. I believe we can benefit immediately from the methods you suggested. Your enthusiasm is contagious, I would say.
It is.
And I hope that I will invite you again and again.
Pleasure.
I would like to thank our Madam Principal also. Many best wishes for today, ma'am. Happy birthday. And for your wholehearted support and a pillar of strength to all. I must say that whenever I go into her room, ma'am कहती है करो, काम करो, कॉलेज के लिए करो, जो भी करो कॉलेज के लिए काम करो. And this is the thing I like most of you, ma'am. A special thanks to the NRF, Aisha, and Arya teams, ICC and members, CCC and members, friends from IPSC and all criteria conveners, and non-teaching staff for their unflinching support and coordination. Thanks to Mr. Vinay and Mr. Muslim, especially for all the technical support you are giving us almost daily. We are doing this and that, and they are giving us this support. Thank you to Vinay standing here. Okay, now I invite ma'am because she ma'am wants to say something.
Recording बंद, बाकी सब कुछ हो.
Some of it. अब आप on हो जाओ.